Welcome to seminary. It's an amazing calling. You should know that there are resources available to help you make the most out of your experience without it being a financial burden on you. Let's take a look at what you can be reimbursed for and how to do it. There are 4 types of expenses you can be reimbursed for. First, mileage. You can be reimbursed when you drive for things related to seminary. Some examples could be travel to and from the building where you teach, travel to in-service, symposiums, or other trainings, to the store to buy supplies for your class, and to the homes of students for a seminary-related visit or dropping off materials. Secondly, you can be reimbursed for supplies for your classroom. Examples could include things like pens and scissors, markers, notebooks, glue sticks, pencil cups, organizers, etc. Things you would use in your classroom as part of instruction. Third, student incentives. These include consumable items for your students such as prizes, birthday treats, balloons, candy, gifts, things like that. But no gift cards. Fourth, postage. For specific budget amounts and what things are covered in these categories for your area, contact your local S&I administrator. Also, make sure to keep original receipts for things you want to be reimbursed for. For mileage, a printed map will act as your receipt. More on that later. To begin, you will first need to complete the Payee setup form, available from your S&I administrator. Start by filling in your name, phone, address, and email. Next, you will need the banking information for the account you want your reimbursements sent to. Complete the bank's name, routing number, your account number, and mark if it's a checking or savings account. Then sign and date. Mail this form to your local S&I coordinator. The coordinator's office will enter your information directly into a secure church website and then shred your form. Your information is never entered or stored anywhere else. Of course, if you've changed banks or accounts, you'll need to fill out the form again and submit it. You will only need to do this once, unless it's been more than 2 years since you last requested reimbursement. Then it will need to be filled out again. Now, let's fill out the reimbursement request form, also available from your S&I coordinator's office. First, only use Adobe Acrobat Reader to open the reimbursement request form PDF. If the form is not opened in Acrobat Reader, the buttons may not work. You can download Acrobat Reader for free at get.adobe.com/reader. Now let's get to the form. The form should be set to US dollars, but if not, you can change the currency here. This button resets the whole form. Enter your personal information, including name, telephone number, address, and other contact information. Enter the invoice date. And for the invoice number, click the red New Invoice Number button next to the field. A number will automatically be added. Enter the mileage reimbursement rate, currently 14 cents per mile in the US, but check with your S&I administrator for the number in your area. If you made the same trip several times, such as back and forth to your seminary class, record that travel in the recurring travel section. Enter the starting address and the destination address. Describe the purpose of the travel. Enter the round-trip distance in miles along with any fare or toll costs. Make sure to keep receipts for fares or tolls so you can be reimbursed for them. Now, to calculate your round-trip mileage, use an online map tool or application such as Google Maps to calculate the distance from your starting point to your destination. Use the mileage that the map gives you, not the time, and don't round up or down. Remember that you will need to double this number for a round-trip distance. Print the map and include it as a supporting document. It's like a receipt for your travel. Now enter each month for recurring travel and check the box for each calendar day you travel this route. Enter all other travel in the varied travel section, such as in-service training meetings, symposiums, trips to the store for supplies, etc. Include the starting point, destination, purpose, date, mileage, and any fares or tolls. Again, keep your receipts for fares or tolls. Let's use attendance at an in-service meeting as an example. Enter the starting point address, home, and the location of the in-service. In this case, we'll say it's the Stake Center. Enter the date of the training and the mileage. This time, just the mileage for this leg of the trip, not round-trip mileage. The reimbursement amount will automatically populate, assuming you enter the reimbursement rate in the upper part of the form, like we talked about earlier. Then you will also need to enter the return trip. This time, the starting point will be the Stake Center. Enter each leg of a trip separately, and don't forget to print the map. Now, this form has room for 2 varied travel trips. If you need to enter additional varied travel, fill out another form or attach the same information on another sheet. Notice that the form reports your reimbursement totals here. Other pre-approved expenses, such as classroom supplies, incentives, and postage, can be entered in the Other Expenses section. Be aware that there are budgets for each. We will use $50 for classroom supplies per school year and $4.50 per student per year for incentives. For example, if you had 10 students, you would have $45 per year for incentives. But check with your administrator to find out what the numbers are in your area, including what is available for postage. For each receipt, enter the merchant's name and the purpose. In the area labeled Enter the Account Code, include the category, meaning classroom supplies or incentives or postage. Then enter the amount of the receipt. Notice that the total updates here. Now let's enter another receipt. This time it is for a student incentive. Again, the total updates. Now, a note about receipts. Please don't mark, highlight, or tape your receipts, and send the original receipt with your form through the mail, not a copy. Whenever possible, transactions and receipts for S&I items should be separate from those for personal items. Like this, not this. For example, if a teacher was at Target and buying balloons and a bag of small candy bars for seminary, but also buying other supplies for home, she would tell the cashier that she is making 2 purchases. She would then purchase the seminary things and keep the receipt, and then she would purchase the personal things and get a separate receipt. You will notice on the form there are only 2 lines for these receipts. If you have more than 2, click the purple Add Page button. This will generate a second page with 20 additional lines for more receipts. Finally, print the form and sign the reimbursement request. Don't forget to attach detailed original receipts to support all purchase amounts and maps for any travel. Mail the reimbursement request to your S&I representative and you are all done. Don't let things pile up. Please send in reimbursements for each term. Reach out to your S&I administrator with any questions.